Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And today I want to talk about the reality behind the amount of people that actually start reselling versus the amount of people who actually survive after a year. How many people actually start a reselling business? That could be eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, could be anything, right? How many are actually left standing after a year? In terms of like the people who actually stick with it or quit. And I actually put a poll out on my YouTube recently. And real quick, I want to say, if you hear a bunch of craziness, like there's elephants running all over the house, I do have construction going on right now. So just kind of bear with me. But if you take a look on the screen, we had over 1,000 people vote. And I said, if you had to guess what percentage of people would quit or give up reselling after 1 year, what would you say? And only 4% said that less than 25% would quit after 1 year. Wow. 13% said 25 to 50% of people would quit after 1 year. 30% said 50 to 75% of people who start a reselling business would quit after 1 year. And check this out, this is astonishing. 53% of the votes said 75% or more people would quit their reselling business after 1 year. So real quick, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Right, out of 100 people who start a reselling business, how many are actually going to be still doing it consistently after 1 year? And what I want to talk about in this video was 7 reasons why a lot of people end up, giving up or failing or just, throwing in the towel saying, you know what, reselling's not for me. And what's interesting is I agree. I would say that over 75% of people are going to quit after a year. Now they might maybe list a couple items a month. I don't really consider that as, being in the game. I'm talking about people who are doing it part-time, 10, 15 hours a week. Like people who actually have the, the vision to like maybe replace an income or build a really nice side hustle. That's what I really mean by it. But I would say 75% of people really, they're just going to give up or quit or barely do it at all. And I want to share the 7 reasons why. Okay, so number 1, and this is sad to say, and this is just the society we live in with marketing and just the mindset that people have, is a lot of people get into a reselling business and they think to themselves, maybe they've seen, a Facebook ad about private label or wholesale or Shopify or some of the various e-commerce business models. And they say to themselves, I got to get rich. If I'm not able to replace my income or quit my job or make $10,000 a month within, 6 months or 3 months, then this isn't working, right? I'm not smart enough. This isn't working for me, or I've got to try something else, right? And the sad reality is reselling's not a get rich quick scheme. Now, there are certain models out there that are going to be easier to make a lot of money over the long haul. And here's the construction. I'm talking about models such as online arbitrage, wholesale, private label, right? These are more challenging to start, but there's a higher potential to earn a lot of income. So that's reason number 1. A lot of people quit because they just think they're going to get rich. Number 2, and this is probably one of the more dominant reasons why people quit. A lot of people aren't going to want to admit this, but it's true. Right? It's absolutely true. People just can't deal with the adversity. When you're selling on eBay, when you're selling on Amazon FBA, especially Amazon FBA, you've got to know how to deal with adversity, right? Rules are going to change all the time. There could be account suspensions. There could be items that you used to be able to sell and now you're gated. You can't sell. You have to go get a wholesale invoice. There's going to be returns. There's going to be issues. There's going to be shipments that you send into Amazon that are just going to get lost, right? When you're selling on eBay, right? One of the most frustrating things as of late was when they changed over to the eBay managed payments. That was a pain in the butt for a lot of people, right? The post office is always raising their shipping rates every single, it seems like every single month, but it's obviously more like yearly. Adversity. How can you deal with things changing, right? Things are always changing in e-commerce. Things go wrong. How do you deal with it? A lot of people, they can't deal with it. Their mind is just blown. Like, I don't want to learn new things. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to learn a new software. Like, this is BS. The prices at the thrift store are increasing. Or adversity could be in the form of maybe you go to a thrift store regularly and you're finding books all the time. And then next thing you know, you got 2 or 3 people there scanning and you're like, how do you deal with the adversity, right? Number 3, the third thing why I feel like most people quit before a year is they're just not patient, right? It takes time to succeed. And depending on what your goals are, maybe that's maybe you only want to make an extra $100 to $200 a month. And you might be thinking, who the heck only wants to make that much money? You'd be surprised. I talk to hundreds and thousands of people, and I'm always reading the comments. The average person isn't looking to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month. A lot of them just want to supplement their income, have a little extra money to be able to maybe, support their children or to go on a vacation. I would say a lot of people want to make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month, but not a lot of people are really looking to make 6-7 figures with this business. So I would say first thing, be clear on what your goal is and be realistic. Instead of wanting to make $2,000 a month like that and saying, I gotta pay my mortgage within the next 60 days. I met a woman who, she went to one of the Connecticut thrifting meetups, sweet woman, great girl, had her on a video. But she wanted to start selling books, and she said she had to pay the mortgage, which I think it was within the next month or so. And I was like, it's going to be tough because you have to learn so many things, and there's just, you got to get your account approved, you got to ship things off. I mean, it's a whole thing. So you want to get into a reselling business and have some patience and not have your back against the wall where you have to make a certain amount of money fast, because it's tough, right? It's like learning a new skill. So it takes time to succeed, and start with smaller goals and build from there. $100 a month, then $500, then $1,000. Then you can really scale. Number 4, and this is a big thing that I notice hold a lot of people back. This held me back, 6 or 7 years ago, and I still struggle with this from time to time, but I always have to remind myself, if I want to become better, I need to be better, right? If I want to earn more, I need to learn more. You got to grow. And a lot of people, they just refuse to grow. They refuse to build systems. They don't want to learn how to work with other people or work with a virtual assistant. They don't want to learn new softwares that could help them maybe save time listing. They don't want to learn how to build an inventory management systems. They don't want to learn how to, put a custom SKU in their listings. They don't want to learn how to run sales, or it could be, running promotions. They don't want to learn how to send a shipment to Amazon FBA. They'd rather just stay in their little box and list on eBay, which is nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people are leaving a lot of money behind going to thrift stores, passing up on items that don't sell very well on eBay, but sell a lot better on Amazon. They don't want to grow when times are slow, when sales are slow. They don't want to figure out what to do. Maybe they have to learn about keywords, or maybe they have to add better item specifics. Maybe they have to run sales like I mentioned. When item gets refunded, or there's a return, or the fees increase, right? All this craziness that happens, they refuse to grow. And in this business, in a reselling business, you've got to be willing to change. You've got to be willing to adapt. You've got to be willing to learn new things. And, refusal to grow is one of the things that holds a lot of people back. Number 5, and this is a big thing, burnout. A lot of people get burned out in a reselling business. They go gung-ho, and I fell victim to this as well, which created some death piles back in the day, right? I just got so addicted to sourcing, going to thrift stores, and I went from 0 to 100. I started freaking working 60, 70 hours a week, and I burnt myself out. It's okay to go psycho in the beginning, but you want to make sure that you're managing your energy, that what you're doing is sustainable. You want to make sure that you're balancing out your health, in your relationships with your business, because if you just go 100% in business and then you start neglecting your relationships, you can start having all types of drama occurring. Or if you neglect your health, you have a health issue, it's kind of hard to work. It's hard to stay consistent. When you're not taking care of your health, it's hard to take care of your mental health, right? I'm talking, if you don't take care of your physical, it's hard to be mentally healthy, which, being mentally healthy is so important when it comes to running a business, because you're having to always make decisions. You're always having to learn. So, burnout is a big thing. Number 6 is time management issues. A lot of people quit. They just can't figure out how to manage their time. A lot of people who are starting an eBay, Amazon, just reselling business in general, they're working a job. It's tough to be able to manage your time when maybe you're taking care of your kids, you work from 9 to 5, and now you've got to, eat dinner, you got to clean the house, you got to do all these different things, and now you're trying to build a reselling business into it. It's tough to manage that time, to manage your energy, and to stay consistent over the long haul while having faith that this is going to work. Because in the beginning, things are slow. Like I said, you got to have patience. And, some people just fly out of the gate and they succeed. But for a lot of people, it's going to take time. And, we're so used to in this society just raising our hand and getting permission, clocking in, clocking out, being told what to do. When you run a business, you're having to do everything for yourself. There's nobody saying, hey, Steve, it's time to list. Hey, Steve, it's time to source. Hey, Steve, you got this issue where you keep losing your items and you have no inventory system, like it's time to stop worrying about listing items to make money and take a step back to create this system so the next time you don't have to waste an hour. Like, it's mind trickery, right? So time management issues is big. And then last but not least is just giving up too soon because things aren't working out. You know, one of the things I want to talk about is you got to find your way in this reselling business. It's not cookie cutter. There's not just one way to succeed, right? I talk a lot about different things on this channel. I talk about selling books. You know, I've interviewed people who do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage. I've interviewed people who, you know, they just source from Facebook Marketplace, or they drop ship, or they do wholesale, or they do private label or Shopify, right? There's like so many different ways to, you know, build your reselling business. You've got to figure out what works for you. First of all, based on your demographics, where you live, because if you live in a town of freaking 500 people with no thrift stores, you're going to have a tough time finding inventory, right? You might have to travel a lot. Online arbitrage might be a better opportunity. If you have a ton of capital, very little time, and you're already making 6 figures, it's probably not the smartest thing to going to thrift stores, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but if you're looking to make X amount of money, it might be smarter to start a private label brand or a wholesale venture, right? Something that's more scalable, where you can put your capital to work. So a lot of people, they just give up too soon. All because something works for me. It might work for me because maybe I have a skill, or maybe it's where I live, or maybe it's something I really enjoy. You know how if you enjoy something, you work a lot harder at it. You got to kind of figure out your personality, where you live, your capital. You got to keep going and figure out what works for you, what you enjoy. And a lot of people, they just give up too soon. So I definitely agree with the poll that probably more than likely 75% of people are going to quit. That's why I don't get too worried about competition. Just because most people don't have the discipline, the patience, the time management skills, and the ability to just deal with adversity, to just keep going and to get through to the other side. But I tell you, it's so worth it if you do. And it's not super hard. It just takes time, it takes skill, it takes the ability to learn and grow. And, you know, there's a lot of opportunity here, right? E-commerce is really in its infancy stage with the internet, and there's so many opportunities, and things are always changing, which creates an arbitrage opportunity for all of us. So with that being said, let me know what your comments are below, what you thought about this video. Do you think more people stick with it, more people quit? What's your opinion? And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe, again, leave a comment, and I appreciate you guys watching. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.